So it's not real news saying that NFTs are dead. Yeah, they are dead. And this video is almost like a response to Crypto Gorilla's video that he put out a couple of days ago, talking about what's happening in the market and how he's pivoting and how he's shifting, and a little bit of my thoughts on it and what I'm actually doing myself. So the NFT market's dead when you're talking about the whitelist meta, the hype cycles, all of that kind of stuff. Like that's fine, that's a given. But it's not dead completely. I still have a love for the space. I still think there is potential. This is just, if you've seen multiple crypto cycles, this is exactly what happens. Everyone gets bored, everyone leaves, it goes away. I do think we will see a rise in NFTs. I think we will see, I don't know what the iteration will look like, but we will see a rise and we will see it come back. In terms of that, I see Bitcoin rising, then Bitcoin, Ethereum rising, then altcoins, then it'll flow into NFTs. That's just how it is. Also, when you have a look at the big major brands that are doing stuff in the space, also when you have a look at digital ownership, it's just like, it's not going anywhere. People want to have ownership over things digitally, so it just makes sense. And one thing that Gorilla kind of said in his video is he was talking about how he's still in it, but he's in it to make money, and he's pivoting and changing a little bit because he's been putting in the work, putting in the effort. But in terms of his audience reach and all of that, it's just not hitting when it comes down to NFT content. And 100% I agree. I can put out the most polished, the most best, well-researched piece of content, but if it's geared towards people trying to make money off Web3, it's just not really going to work. So one of the things that I'm kind of doing, and I'm going to change over within the content myself here, is I'm still going to be making NFT content, but I'm going to be almost going a little bit in an aggressive, defensive, investigatory mode. So these are the thumbnails for some upcoming videos that I've got. And these are essentially kind of looking at projects that had happened that were founded by big people that were rug pulls, scams, things like that. The idea is, for me, like, look, I can talk about what projects that are coming up and what's going to be popping off, but realistically, they're few and far between. And Gorilla kind of said this. He's got whitelist for like 100 projects, but the potential of them isn't as high as it was when things were like bullish and crazy and there was a huge inflow of capital. Like, look, right now, if I had sort of had to make a decision, gun to my head, it'd be like, well, sort of WeBox is coming up in a few days' time, maybe a week's time. And this thing, it's a free mint. It's going to pop off. I think it's backed by Animoca. It's actually just it's a really good piece. It looks like it's going to run and rip as a project. Absolutely kill it. If you have a look at Sugartown, this is by Zynga, who does mobile games, absolutely just huge in the gaming space. This isn't like affiliated or backed by them. This is their this is their thing. There are projects, there are things that are ripping, that are doing well. But in terms of to make content about what's going to pop off, what's going to happen once you get whitelist for, I don't see that as valuable. So the pivot in my mind is, for me personally, is to stay active within Web3 and not necessarily say it's clickbait, but like when Logan Paul got absolutely ripped into by CoffeeZilla, everyone that hates NFTs jumps on the bandwagon, and then those of us that were in NFTs, we could kind of see that side and see that aspect. And I think anyone that has been in the space, anyone that has kind of extracted liquidity in some way, shape, or form, I think it now makes sense to call these people out, call them shysters, call them all of that kind of stuff. But then also that should appeal to a wider market. And my hope is, first off, it appeals to a wider market. When they see a thumbnail like this, then fans of this music artist will most likely click on it. People that hate that music artist will click on it. People that hate NFTs will click on it, which will then hopefully just start to normalize it overall. And from that, I can then educate in a backdoor manner about talking about what they could have done, what they should have done in that way, shape, or form, because I feel like these pieces are a little bit, first off, they're nostalgic for people that are in the space, but they're also interesting in a way of bringing in new people, because the regular, normal, everyday person does not want to see what upcoming projects I should mint, because they see the word NFT and they go, stupid monkey JPEGs, I hate them. But when they can combine around something that they hate, then yeah, that's cool. Now, saying that, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be doing any sort of educational content, what's coming up. If it makes sense and I think it works, then yes, I will do it. But that isn't going to be the main focus overall, because realistically, we know that, okay, look, over the past couple of weeks, we've seen, past couple of months, DeGods, as soon as they make an announcement, dropped off. When Azuki was hyped up, as soon as that actually released their artwork, done, gone. When we have a look at sort of like captains come up, as soon as they actually launch the PFP, that drops. Everything is just trending towards zero. Everything's going down. There are plays to be made, but it's very it's very choppy, which is fine if you're in the space, but it's very hard to be kind of give you my take and my aspect when realistically, if you're going, hey, Nate, what should I do? I'm just like, well, get whitelist for something, sell it straight away and just exit. Don't hold anything because that is the only way you're going to succeed. So look, I have no hesitation that it's going to come back. And when it does come back, I want to be here in the trenches with you guys, putting in the work now in the bear market so that when it does come back bullish, you know that I've been here. I've got the receipts. It's like, hey, I've been putting in the work when it's died off because so many other YouTubers that you would have watched, someone like NFTverse just dropped off the face of the planet. A whole bunch of other YouTubers have just pivoted into other content when there was no money in NFTs. They were basically using you as exit liquidity. Like, that's just it. And the point here that I want to make is I'm here for you, the viewer, for the audience, for the crew. Like, we're in this together. And because we're in this together, it's like when it does come crazy and it rips up on the other side, let's be there together, learn from the mistakes from the last bull, learn what we've learned in the bear, and then actually make some money and actually kill it on the other side on the next cycle. So that's kind of what, as my thought, that's how I'm kind of positioning myself, how I'm kind of rolling in the space. And I think it's a sign of the times, but I also think it's a very good opportunity because right now there is less and less content being out there, which means that you are the only you're some of the only people. Like, this is one of a handful of channels, you can almost count them on one hand, that are actively putting up NFT content regularly in a market like this, which means that when it comes back, we're going to come back stronger, bigger, all of that. So look, thank you for watching. We're going to keep going this, but at least this gives you a bit of an insight into what the pivot is, what's going to happen. So another thing that I wanted to kind of say is that I've actually got a second channel. I'm building up a second channel of just about crypto because I know that NFT people like crypto, but crypto people hate NFTs. The reason I've done that is, first off, the channel name NFT Nate is a dumb name if you want to be in crypto, but the idea is I can then start to kind of have my thoughts, my analysis, and keep track with the market in a cryptocurrency sense, which will then kind of hopefully build up that audience. So I'll have a link for the channel down below. I've been putting some stuff up here and there, but I think I'm going to like start fresh and do a little revamp on that. But the idea is I just have a second channel that is cryptocurrency based, so I can keep it kind of those two very direct streams. When you look at someone like Crypto Gorilla, his name's Crypto Gorilla, so it means that he can kind of dabble in and out. He also started in crypto before getting into NFT, so it kind of makes sense. But for me, I'm trying to keep it in two different streams so that when I want to speak about NFT projects, I'm not going to put off the crypto people. When I speak about crypto, I'm not putting off NFT people. That's kind of how it is. So if you do, if you're into that, it's going to be looking at the main things, but also ish coins, all that kind of stuff. So there'll be a link down below, so you can kind of go over, go sub to that. That's just where some other thoughts are going to be when it comes to the crypto markets. But overall, I'm here. I'm going to be here. I'm going to keep staying here. Like I showed you, I've already got some thumbnails written up. I've already got these scripts kind of good. I'm just going to start moving into it and start moving the channel in that direction. And then hopefully that can give us a bigger audience with give us a bigger audience with mainstream people, and then also just hold these people accountable, all these people that extracted liquidity and just have basically dipped, because we're still here, we're still grinding. But yeah, so that's just kind of my mind state of the market, where things are at. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully you guys are making some flips, making some trades, making some plays. Also, make sure you do go over and follow me up on Twitter, because over on Twitter, I am putting up these micro bits of content. I might actually drop them in after this video, but the idea is I'm doing little, short little pieces, analyses, thought bits on YouTube. A 2-minute video doesn't really do well when you have to go thumbnails, titles, descriptions. It's hard, where it's very easy to kind of think up a thought piece, put it up on Twitter, and it's just, well, X, and let it run. So yeah, just make sure you go follow me over on Twitter. And then also, look, now's the best time. If you want to kind of reach out and say something, jump out, send me a DM, say hi. Now's the best time to connect when there's no one here. So hopefully you guys are having a great day and or evening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Look, there's something that I've noticed and I kind of want to point out. And first up, I want to say I've got a mad bias for Chimpers because I work with them. I do their weekly recaps. But what I think is crazy, if you look at all of these projects and where they actually sit on their Web 2 social presence, I think this is a big tell for what could happen in the future. And I guess what I wanted to kind of point out is when you have a look at this list, Bored Ape Yacht Club right now, 604,000 followers on Instagram. And I think Instagram is the most normie mainstream thing that you can get. I'm also not going to touch on TikTok because almost all of these projects are non-existent on TikTok apart from Pudgy Penguins, so I'm ignoring TikTok. Azuki is failing in comparison. Azuki's got sort of 87,000 followers on Instagram, and they're not really posting anything at all on their profiles. Now, next up, we've got Clonex, but we're actually going to go for Artifact because I think that is the better option. They've got 489,000 followers on Instagram, and this is where they're kind of posting actual good content of what they've got. And you're going, this is essentially a Nike brand, and they've got just shy of 500,000 followers. When we have a look at Doodles, we've got 91,000, so almost 92,000 followers on Instagram, and you can see they're posting some cute stuff, cool stuff that you'd expect on the Instagram page, and it's a very good kind of look. Now, next up, this is a biggish kind of deal. We've got Pudgy Penguins. Now, Pudgy Penguins has taken over Bored Ape Yacht Club and is sitting at 722,000 followers on Instagram. And you can see here, the stuff they're posting is very Instagrammable, very kind of leans into Web 2 people, what they'd kind of like, share, all that kind of stuff. So their game is on point. And then we're going to rip through these. Something like Cool Cats, they're sitting at 37,000 followers. When we have a look at something like O'Peppin, so Jack Butcher, he's got 17,000 followers on Instagram. And then the big man himself, Gary V with V Friends, Gary V has 10 million followers on Instagram. Now, the reason that I said, and yes, I know I'm a little bit biased for Chimpers because I'm doing a lot of stuff with Chimpers, but when you look at Chimpers, they've got 311,000 followers, apart from Gary V, and then you've got Pudgy Penguins, you've got Bored Ape Yacht Club. Next is pretty much Chimpers. I've had a look at some of the hyped ones, some of the big ones, some of that to see where they're standing, where they land. And overall, Chimpers is almost sitting at the number 3 spot in terms of Web 2 awareness with what they're doing. What Chimpers is doing on the page is super shareable, super crazy, and is blasting. Like, it's sitting at 311,000 followers on this. This will hit 4 quite fast. It'll hit 5. When it hits 1 million, like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, obviously not financial advice, do your own research. I'm not saying ape into Chimpers, but it blows my mind the what we consider the pinnacle of Web 3-ness and how they're actually kind of communicating to Web 2-ness, and it's not really doing anything. That's just something I kind of really wanted to point out because I've actually gone through, started to search for these, started to look for these and see if there was any comparison. I am one of the reasons that I do like working with the Chimpers team. One reason why I'm kind of bullish on Chimpers is, and also it's why I also like Pudgy Penguins. Full disclosure, I like Pudgy Penguins. I kind of wish I had a bag full of Pudgies, is because of the Web 2 approach, the de-NFTizing it, just like proper building some IP for Web 2, so people will then buy a whole bunch of merchandise, a whole bunch of collectibles, a whole bunch of sort of entertainment off them. Building crazy big Web 2 IP is where the money is, and that kind of makes sense. So that's why I'm kind of bullish on Chimpers as a project, and that's why I think a lot of projects, if projects were focusing a lot on their Web 2 presence and are actually kind of leaning into what the platforms want, then yeah. Also, I do want to point out, Chimpers is the biggest NFT TikTok, like NFT project on TikTok, like just hands down without a doubt. Pudgy Penguins has 81,000 followers, just nowhere near their 330-ish thousand followers on TikTok. Chimpers is absolutely killing it. So yeah, if you're a project and you kind of want to be building a long-term business, long-term brand with some IP, do something with Web 2, lean into it. If you're building IP with your project, lean into it, do something with it to actually engage people in Web 2. But look, honestly, no one's going to do it because they're just trying to extract liquidity from Web 3 bozos doing sort of mint and JPEGs. Don't really care about building a brand, so I guess there also is that. Yeah, if you like this video, go hit a retweet, hit a like, drop a comment, something like that. Yeah, good. I'll see you guys next time. Whatever happened to those projects and those mints where the whitelist would be the ability to mint more than one, more than two? What I'm kind of getting at is back in late 2021, early 2022, what had happened is you'd be on the whitelist for something, and it wouldn't just be, hey, you get to mint one and the rest goes to public. It'd be, you can mint 3, you can mint 5, you can mint max 5, something like that, which was a very good spot to be in as a minter, because as a minter, what you'd want to do is you would want to mint 3, flip 1 once you got to kind of a 2x or something, just kind of like sort of even out, then sell another one to kind of be in profit, and then you would essentially ride one to the moon. And I think that we're in a spot nowadays where we don't have, and also I know the market's terrible, the market's just gross, so before you kind of drop in the comments go, Nate, the market's dead, it's like, yeah, dude, I know. But I guess what I'm saying is, very rarely am I minting a project where I'm able to mint 2, 3, 4, 5 of stuff at a lower price. So overall, the project is still taking the same amount of money, but in the ability for me to layer out, because when I can layer out, anytime I've been able to mint multiple of a project or get multiple of a project, you start to be able to layer out of it, but then you hold with more and more conviction as the project kind of runs on, because if you're holding 3 of something, you layer one out, you de-risk. Once you've sold sort of 2, you've properly de-risked. You can ride that next one to the moon. You don't need to list it. If you're holding 1, your bag can go down. It can drop. You're not going to end up making any money. And I know it comes back to how many participants are there, are we playing hot potato, all that kind of stuff. But it just seems a little bit crazy that instead of minting, me personally, I would rather mint 8 NFTs at 0.01 each than mint 1 at 0.08. Because for 0.08 to run to a 0.1, a 0.16, that 2x, that's incredibly hard, like for you to make that money. But if I mint 8 at it, I can then just ladder sell. Like, look, now we have the tools. Back in sort of 2021, 2022, we really didn't have and I know Blur is a touchy subject, we didn't have the ability to layer out of projects easily. You can go in and you can easily, on a lot of tools, aggregator stuff, list a whole bunch of stuff and just list the price points that you wanted. And then if it triggers those, you're good. I miss the days when you were able to mint multiple of a project and slowly layer out, which would then create some kind of supply squeeze, create a little bit of hype, and then have a little bit of a run, and you had more skin in the game. Because as soon as you sell a project, you don't ever look at them again. I know that Crypto Gorilla, my boy Crypto Gorilla, I love him. His favorite point, he said it before, his favorite point is hitting leave on that Discord after he's flipped a project and he's out. It's the same kind of deal with me. Like, I might have a project on like the notifications on Twitter, and then as soon as it's done, notifications off, unfollow. Like, I might do that. But when you're still holding one, you still got skin in the game. You still want to check. You still hope they do good. And you can only have skin in the game if you have multiple of them. So yeah, if you're a project out there, why don't you kind of let people hold more, even if it's a lower price point, but increase, like, look, I know I'm not going to hate, but increase supply, but with a lower price point, or do 2 for 1 deals, 5 for 3 deals, whatever it is, that kind of thing, to then get more people holding more so that they can play around with them, because I feel like that is a better option. Because when you can de-risk from a trader's perspective, then you're more likely to hold and YOLO and let something run. Just something I've been thinking about, just a little bit of a rant. So yeah, that's what I think. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Hopefully you guys having a great weekend, and I will speak to you at some point later. Look, we all know that the whitelist meta is dead, and I really do think it should be kicked to the curb and just gone. I've been chatting to my boy Bomber in Discord, and the reason that we're kind of having this discussion is that most projects, there just aren't enough participants in the market right now for whitelisting to work. Whitelisting works when you want to ensure that the key supporters, the people that supported the project from day one, were able to mint a project. And this is what Bomber was kind of saying, is that they were able to mint the project irrespective of gas. They could pick a time where gas was low, where it worked. But that worked when there were 100,000 people trying to sort of in the space, and there was only a 10,000 collection. Like you and people be able to mint sort of 3, 4, 5. Whitelisting worked when there were more participants than there were NFTs in collections that are selling. But right now, people are doing sort of 5,000, 10K, whatever K collection, but there aren't that many market participants. That's why they aren't selling out. If we flipped it and just went to hell with the whitelist and just went straight in with the public, you're going to have people that actually mint the project because they want the project, because they're going to support it. Because with whitelisting, and let's just jump into Alphabot really quick. Every project does whitelisting, and it makes sense why every project does a whitelist. Every project does a whitelist because it's a marketing tool. But whitelisting from a minter's perspective is a way to make some money. I'm getting something before everyone else. I can sell it, and hopefully that's how I'm going to make money. When there is a public aspect, you're not going into it going, hey, I'm going to flip it. You are usually approaching it from does this have a lot of potential? Do I like it? You do a lot more research. When there is a whitelist sort of tag attached to it, it's almost like a way to, it changes the mindset of the project. It is just I can mint this, I can flip this, I can sell it before someone else, I can hot potato out of it and hopefully make some money if it's $5, $10. If it is public and you remove that incentive, then you're going to change the people that move into the project, which in itself will then have larger holders, and then it should run up. Now, there's going to be a whole bunch of people that are like, yeah, but like the whole space is about making money. The whole space is like Ponzi-nomics and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I get that. But it's also, if something's going public, you're then doing more research on why you should do it. A project needs to market themselves and tell you why their project is worth minting. And then when it does mint, it just shoots and it'll run crazy, because projects that have not done well on the mint, because whitelisting has just turned this into a really crazy game, have done absolutely insane afterwards. Like, obviously there've been good teams, good execution, good communication, all of that. But there are projects that are doing well. And those projects, sure, they had a whitelist period, but it didn't work. The team still executed, still ran up. If we just got rid of the whitelisting altogether, went straight to public, because at the moment, there is no gas wars. There aren't that many market participants that are able to mint the projects, so there's no need to have whitelisting. Any project that says, oh, we want to avoid a gas war, we want to do this, bullshit. You're just trying to run up that narrative of this is marketing, my project's got hype. Also, the other thing about whitelisting for projects themselves is it gives them a false sense of hope. They think, hey, I've got 10K on the whitelist, 20K, 30K the whitelist. Oh, I've got 50K whitelist. Oh, this is crazy. It's going to sell out. No one does it. When I've got whitelist for a project, very rarely do I know the ins and outs of the project. When a project is going ahead and it doesn't have whitelisting and it's public, or even if it does, but it's like the project that I'm more, when I know I've got a chance at them, irrespective of whitelist, that's when you start to do some research, you dive deeper and you get to understand it, and then you can see why you would actually want to run in and mint said project. And I think that if projects, founders, communities can work out a way to market themselves, irrespective of the trying to cut out whitelisting, but push out that message and going, hey, we're going straight public. Sure, it's scary, but the people that mint this are then going to hold this longer term and build up the community. Now, this builds up another thing. A lot of people and projects want to run up, not because they actually want to launch, they just want to extract liquidity, which is fine. That's cool. That's all right. I loved whitelisting. It made sense, but that's because I got a whole bunch of whitelists, ended up making some money flipping projects early like that. But now it doesn't make sense. And it is almost detrimental and hurts a project, because if I'm not whitelisted for a project, that project is dead to me. I don't care about it. If I know I can get a project because it's going to be a public project, I'm then going to actually get up. I'm going to be invested in trying to get there to actually do a mint, things like that. I don't know what the solution is, but the solution isn't whitelisting. As a marketing tool, it's not even a good marketing tool because everyone is whitelisting at the moment. As you can see on Alphabot, there's just so many. So yeah, that's kind of where it is. Whitelisting is dead. Let's just go straight public, bring on a gas wall. Like realistically, we're not going to have a gas wall with sort of 200 people going for a project. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, appropriate mint prices and just get rid of the whitelisting. Let's go straight to public. I just think that makes sense. So yeah, that's a conversation that I was having with my boy Bomber in Discord. So yeah, if you don't follow Bomber, do it. He is an Australian top bloke. Yeah, like the dude. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully you guys are having a great weekend, and I will speak. Also, yeah, like, retweet the video, whatever. Cool. See you guys next time. Come on. To the actual mint itself, they got greedy. Shut up. Has Pepe a favorite green frog? Now look, there's something that I've noticed. Now with the mint right around the corner, let's jump into the mint price. Make sure you go down there, hit up, go down, use the bar down there so you can have a look at the chapters.